means, let's talk about one of the most critical skills for a politician is communicating with voters. In this topic, we will cover the first point, stories that touch the hearts. Second, visuals that make people believe. Third point, engagement that makes them feel involved. Politics is not just about power or strategy. Politics is about people, their dreams, their struggles, and their hopes. If we want to win elections and bring meaningful change, we must understand power and we must understand people. Abraham Maslow, a famous psychologist, he spoke about the hierarchy of needs. At the base are basic needs like food, water, and safety. Once these are met, people look for respect, recognition, and dreams of a better future. In rural India, you may meet people whose basic needs are not met. So, speak to them about food security, speak to them about better health care, and speak to them about education for their children. For the youth in cities, the focus is different. They want jobs, they want technology, and they want opportunities to grow. If you see long back in 1980s, A.T. Ramarao, he understood this when he promised rice at 2 rupee per kilogram. He was addressing people's most pressing basic need, that is hunger. And they loved him for it. Even today, we see politicians who succeed because they understand people's priorities. We must listen to the people we serve. What are their struggles? What are their dreams? When we align our message with their needs, they will say, this leader speaks for us. This leader cares for my family. Politics is about making people listen, trust, and act. This chapter teaches us how to communicate effectively with the humans to win campaigns. Let us begin with a simple question. Why should people take notice of us? We may care about our cause, but why hasn't the change we want already happened? This is where understanding power becomes critical. Power lies with those who benefit from the current system. To challenge this current system, we must pose a threat to the interest. When Periyar E.V. Ramaswamy, he led the self-respect movement in Tamil Nadu, his critics often dismissed him, saying he had no official power or he had no official authority. But Periyar's real strength came from the people who rallied behind his ideas. His movement shook the foundations of social hierarchies because of the pressure created by his mass support. This shows us a harsh truth. Without real influence or without real pressure, no one listens, no matter how important the message is. As campaigners and politicians, you must identify who is in control, who benefits from the status quo, and how we can change it. A powerful strategy will force even the strongest opponents to take us seriously. Now, let us understand the human motivation. To bring people on our side, we must understand their motivation, both our motivation and their motivation. Most campaigns fail not because they lack facts, but because they fail to connect with the people, needs, and their motivations and their emotions. In the 2019 Lok Sabha elections, the Congress party's Nyaya scheme, which promised direct cash transfer to the poor, it seemed like a well-intentioned policy. On paper it had the facts, on paper it had the logic and potential to tackle poverty in our country. However, the campaign failed to connect with the people's emotions and immediate needs. While Congress party focused on statistics and promises, they could not understand the motivation of the voters. They were more drawn to the aspirational messaging of nationalism and strong leadership projected by the ruling party. Congress party's campaign focused on what they thought people needed rather than what the voters felt they wanted. As a result, despite offering a well-drafted policy, the party failed. The party failed to gain the trust and support of the masses. This example teaches us an important lesson. People vote with their hearts and their heads second. If we do not appeal to their emotions and aspirations, even the best policies will fall flat. People rarely change their minds because of lectures or education. We cannot just throw numbers and arguments at them. Instead, we must frame our issues in a way that meets their psychological needs. The most successful campaigns are not accidents. They are the result of understanding what motivates people and then speaking to those motivations. Let's see the media making events that matters. To win in politics, we must also understand the role of the media. In today's world, the media is both a battlefield and as a tool. News is not just about facts, it is about events. If we want our message to be heard, we need to create events that the media cannot ignore. Let me give you one example. When Anna Hazare started his campaign against corruption in India, he didn't just give speeches. He started on a hunger strike. That was an event. It caught the attention of the media and made people across the country take notice of this hunger strike. And we all know that how mainstream media and social media projected Narendra Modi in 2014 elections. This media was the biggest strength of all Modi's achievements ever since and created every act of him as an event, even though they are trivial. As campaigners, you need to think about creating events that turn public sympathy into public action. Protests, rallies, marches, or even symbolic actions. These are the tools that bring attention to our cause. Talking alone is not enough. People need to see something is happening. You see, communication is not just about talking, it's about connecting. It's about making someone feel heard, someone feel understood, and someone feel inspired to act. Whether it is a farmer in the fields, the youth in the cities, or the grandmother sitting outside her home, they are not looking for speeches. They are looking for hope. They are looking for trust. They are looking for a reason to believe in us. And for that, we need three things. One, stories that touch the heart. Second, visuals that make people believe. Third, engagement that makes them feel involved. The power of stories. Why are stories are so powerful? Because they make people feel. You see, humans don't just think with their heads, they think with their hearts. A good story can inspire action faster than 10 statistics or long arguments. For 2024 elections, Narendra Modi's campaign focused on his own story. He was not a political dynasty leader. He became the Chaiwala who rose to power. People saw in him their own struggles. Modi often used real stories to connect with people during his speeches. In one of his speeches, he narrated the story of a poor tea seller from Gujarat, a boy who faced struggles, a boy who worked hard, and a boy who rose to lead the nation. That boy was none other than himself. It was not just his personal story, it was the story of millions of Indians who dream of rising above their challenges. When they heard him, they said, if he can do it, so can we. For all aspiring politicians, the lesson is simple. Stories connect, speeches impress. When we speak, we must talk about real people, real struggles, and real solutions. If you are talking to farmers, don't lecture them about policies. Tell them about a farmer whose life changed because of a government program you support. If you are speaking to students, share stories of young men and women who achieved success because of the opportunities you fought for. Let me share an example of a leader who used stories to inspire action. N.K. Stalin, the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, during one of his election speeches, he spoke about meeting an elderly woman during his campaign trail. She told him, "My son walks 5 kilometers every day to attend school because there is no proper road in our village." Stalin didn't just listen to her, he turned her story into a symbol of his promise to improve rural infrastructure. By narrating her struggles, by narrating her story on stage, he showed the people that their problems were real to him and their lives mattered to him. Another example is Kamaraj, the former Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu. He fondly remembered as the kingmaker. Kamaraj was a master of storytelling. He would often talk about children who couldn't afford meals, using their plight to highlight the importance of his midday meal scheme. He didn't just explain the policy. He told the story of how one meal could change a child's life, helping them study and build a better future. This emotional connection inspired millions to support his initiatives, making him one of the most beloved leaders of his time. These examples teach us that people don't remember data or policies, but they remember stories. A well-told story, it can move hearts, it can inspire action and build trust. As leaders, we must share real experiences from the ground about farmers, about students, about women, and about workers. These are the stories that turn speeches into movements and voters into lifelong supporters. Remember this, a good story doesn't just inform, it transforms. After the first point about stories, let's go to the second point, that is visuals that make people believe. Stories that touch the heart, they are powerful, but we must also remember the second lesson, visuals. Visuals that make people believe. Because seeing is believing. Words alone are not enough. Humans are visual creatures. If we want people to believe in us, we must show them the reality. If we want them to trust our promises, we must let them see our actions. Imagine, you are camping in a village, you promise clean drinking water. Will people believe you? Maybe not. But what if you take them to a nearby water source and show how polluted it is? What if you show photos or videos of children falling sick because of unsafe water? Suddenly, the problem becomes real. People will say, yes, this needs to change. We need this leader to solve it. This is what makes visual connection so powerful in politics. Think of how visuals have transformed Indian politics. A similar visual connection was created by Rajasekhar Reddy during his historic Padayatra in 2003. YSR did not rely on grand speeches or promises alone. He walked over 1400 kilometers across Andhra Pradesh, meeting people face to face. Farmers showed him their dried up fields, women spoke about their struggles for healthcare, and the youth shared their dreams of better education. YSR's Padayatra became a visual story of struggle and empathy. People didn't just hear his words, They saw him, walking with them, understanding their pain. This visual commitment to their issues swept him to power, making him Chief Minister in 2004 Andhra Pradesh elections. Years later, his son Y.S. Jagan Mohan Reddy followed in his father's footsteps, undertaking an even longer Padayatra in 2017. He covered over 3,600 kilometers. Jagan didn't rely on rallies alone. He visited villages, he sat with people and let their struggles become visible. Every broken road, every neglected hospital and every tear shed became a part of his journey. People saw him walking under the scorching sun, stepping into their homes and sharing their burdens. This powerful visual connection turned his Padayatra into a mass movement and he rose to power as Chief Minister in 2019. The lesson here is clear. People believe what they see. Stories inspire, but visuals move hearts and make promises real. When leaders like YSR and YS Jagan walked through villages, they proved that actions speak louder than words. Their journeys were not just campaigns. They were living, breathing visuals of commitment and empathy. So, let us remember these. Don't just tell. Show them. If you promise a better future, let people see the change you are fighting for. Whether it's through Padayatras, whether it's through community projects or public action, let your work speak for itself. That's how we earn trust, build connections, and turn promises into victories. Even today, in every rally, political parties rely heavily on visuals. They use visuals like colorful banners, fluttering flags, and towering cutouts of leaders. Why? Because images stay in the mind longer than words. A single powerful visual, it can create a lasting impact on people far more than an hour-long speech. People may forget what was said, but they will remember what they saw. India's pictures dressed as Lord Rama venerated across Andhra Pradesh, visually connecting him with the deep cultural sentiments of the people. Those images became etched in public memory and NTR became a symbol of hope and pride. In today's digital age, social media has amplified the power of visuals. A photo, a video, or even a single selfie, it can reach thousands of people within minutes. Let's take an example. Imagine you are a leader campaigning in a remote village. If you promise to repair roads, people may doubt you. But what if a week later you post a photo of the repaired road with smiling villagers walking on it? That one image speaks louder than 100 speeches. People see the progress with their own eyes and they start to believe. Let's look at another modern example. Arvind Kejriwal's Aam Aadmi Party frequently uses visuals to highlight their achievements. Photos of well-equipped government schools, clean hospitals, and water tankers serving neighboring goods circulate widely on social media. These images resonate with people because they show real progress. When parents see children sitting in smart classrooms or patients in clean hospitals, they feel reassured that promises are turning into reality. So, let us use visuals wisely and powerfully. Let people see the schools we built, the hospitals we improved, the roads we repaired, and the lives we changed. Show them. Show them the happy children, the healthy families, and the thriving villages. When people see progress, they don't just believe in it, they want it. And when they want it, they will stand with us vote for us, and trust us to lead them. After discussing the second point, visuals that make people believe, let's now dive into the third crucial element, engagement that makes people feel involved. Engagement that makes people feel involved. That's the third point of this section. Communication is not a one-way street. It's not enough for us to speak. We must make people part of the conversation. That is engagement. Engagement is the key to winning hearts. Let me ask you this. Why do some political movements succeed while others fail? The answer is simple. Successful movements make people feel like they are part of something bigger than themselves. They make people feel included. They make people feel empowered and give them a role to play. When people feel involved, they don't just watch, they act, they share, and they fight for the cause. One of the best examples of engagement comes from Lalu Prasad Yadav, who is the former Chief Minister of Bihar. Lalu Prasad Yadav's rise to power in Bihar was not just a political victory. It was a movement that revolved around people's involvement. Lalu Prasad didn't just talk at the people of Bihar. He spoke to them. He turned his campaign into a mass participation movement by engaging people at his grassroots level. His ability to connect with the ordinary Bihar, whether it was a farmer, a rickshaw puller, or a teacher, it became the foundation of his political success. Because Lalu understood that politics, it was not just about presenting policies. It was about making people feel that they were part of the change. His political rallies often filled with thousands of people. They were not just platforms for speeches. They were movements of collective energy. He would use simple, relatable language that resonated with the common man, making him feel like Lalu was one of them. Whether he was talking about the poor, the background classes, or the marginalized, Lalu's rhetoric was grounded in their daily struggles and that built a deep connection. For example, Lalu's famous quote, बिहार का दो बात है, घोटाला और लाठी. This quote became a symbol of his engagement with the people's frustration with the existing power structures. But more than just words, Lalu's engagement with the people was demonstrated through the actions. He involved them in the political process by addressing their most immediate needs, be it land rights, be it education or employment. He spoke in their language and made them feel that their struggles mattered. His style of campaign was simple yet effective. He didn't just hold rallies. He built a personal connection with people. When he spoke, he made people believe that their problems could only be solved by empowering leaders from within their own communities. Lalu was not just a politician, he became a symbol of empowerment for the backward classes and the underprivileged in Bihar. In a way, Lalu's campaign was an extension of the people's own lives. He didn't rely solely on high-profile speeches or flashy media appearances. Instead, Lalu turned ordinary citizens into active participants in his political journey. The success of Lalu Prasad Yadav's leadership was rooted in his ability to make people feel involved, people feel engaged. His charisma and his ability to speak to the masses, it created a sense of ownership among his supporters. They felt that Lalu was their leader fighting for their rights. His rallies became places of collective participation where every person felt like a key player in the change he was promising. Compare this to Arvind Kejriwal's Aam Aadmi Party during its early days in Delhi. Kejriwal didn't rely on speeches alone. He understood that to win people's hearts, he needed to turn ordinary citizens into active volunteers. Teachers, workers, housewives, everyone became part of his campaign. They were no longer passive spectators. They were part of his action. Kejriwal encouraged them to knock on doors, to speak about the party's vision, to become ambassadors of change in their own neighborhoods. People started to feel that this is my fight, this is my future. They weren't just voting for a leader, they were voting for themselves and their community. In both Lalu Prasad Yadav's case and Kejriwal's case, the core strategy was the same: engagement. Engaging through personal connection and engaging through inclusion. Lalu's success was built on the fact that he didn't just talk to people, he included them in the movement. He made people feel that they were part of the solution. The more people feel that their voice matters, the more they will invest their time, energy, and resources into the cause. So, when we engage people, we must focus on making them active participants. Let them know that they are not just supporting a candidate, they are supporting a movement. They are supporting a movement. Let them see the impact. Let them see the impact of their involvement and feel the power they have in shaping the future. When people feel included, they will not just be supporters, they will be your strongest advocates. This is how we build movements that go beyond elections. A successful campaign is not about a politician delivering promises. It's about building a relationship where the people feel that the change belongs to them. When we achieve this, our campaigns will not only win elections, they will create movements that transform society. As we are all politicians, we must involve the public in our journey. Give them small tasks. Ask them to bring 5 friends to the next rally. Ask them to share your campaign on social media. Ask them to put up your poster in their street or in their home and share a story about how your work has helped their family. When people contribute voluntarily, they feel connected. They stop being spectators and become stakeholders. And once they are involved, they will stand by you. In conclusion, let us not forget the lessons we have discussed. Tell powerful stories. Tell powerful stories. Stories touch hearts and inspire action. Second point, use visuals. Use visuals effectively. Seeing is believing. Show people the change you promise. Third point, engage with people. Make them part of your journey. Give them a role to play. Understand human needs. Speak to their struggles, their dreams, and their hopes. If we communicate like this, we will not just win elections, we will win the hearts and minds of the people. And when people believe in us, no challenge is too great, no dream too far. Let us become leaders who connect, who inspire, and who build a better future for our people. The road ahead is not easy, but with strong communication, we can walk it together. So, as you step into the world of politics, remember this. Your words can influence minds, but your actions can inspire movements. Your story can change words, but your vision can change lives. Campaign with purpose, lead with compassion, and the victory will follow. Thank you. Thank you, sir.